It's week 2 of the NFL, and we'll see who rules the skies in tonight's battle. It's the Falcons and the Eagles under the lights on Monday night.
That's right, everyone. Welcome back to Retro Era number 3. Of course, the time period of the NFL from 1984 through 1996. Best teams as chosen by yours truly for each franchise during that option. Whoops. Oh, dang it. During that time frame, sorry. Let me just set this up correctly. Okay, so today it is the 1991 Atlanta Falcons versus the 1992 Philadelphia Eagles. And these two teams are similar record-wise and things, so this should be a good game. Philadelphia is the home team. And they get the ball first. So first quarterback we will meet is the quarterback from Philly, Randall Cunningham, the great Randall Cunningham. You see what he did last week in week 120 out of 27, 233 yards with a touchdown. The Philadelphia Eagles in 1992 went 11-5 under coach Rich Kotite. The number 5 offense and the number 6 defense in the National Football League. Because they hand off to Herschel Walker, he spins off of one tackler, but he cannot get free from the second. In week 1, he had 136 yards, so a good start. The Eagles won their first week matchup. The Falcons lost. But yes, this Eagles, the early 90s Eagles team, very good. Here in 1992, the team that is selected, they went 11-5. The year before that, both years before that, in 1990 and 1991, in both years they went 10-6. 91 possibly could have been their best team if Randall Cunningham stayed healthy, because the defense was really rolling, but the defense was good in all 3 years, including this one, and the offense was good in both 90 and 92. It's just that the Randall Cunningham injury kept 91 from being a big year. Oh, there's Randall Cunningham, just lofts it up in the air, and Barnett goes up and gets it. Amazing play for the Eagles there, and the Falcons here, their strength, well, if they have a strength on defense, it's definitely their corners, their deep plays. But here, McKyer gets picked on by Barnett. He goes up. McKyer never even goes up to challenge. And so that's a big play for the Eagles right off the top here. So a first and goal. Now the Eagles, just to finish off that thought of the early 90 Eagles, in 1993, they dropped back down to 8-8, and then it gets worse from there, kind of a resurgence in 95, I believe. But 1992, 11-5, that is the best record. And another reason that I chose this team was, of course, Herschel Walker is the running back here, which gives Randall Cunningham his best running threat. Herschel Walker gets the ball into the end zone there. He did not have one in week 1, so that's his first touchdown of the season. A 6-play, 71-yard drive for the touchdown, and the Eagles looking good on the opening drive. Heard a little bit of Eagles fly there. And now it'll be Jerry Glanville's team. A flag on the play, a nice return. I believe that was Pritchard for some reason. Dion, not the returner. Michael Reed was holding, so they'll go all the way back to the 17. Okay, so Chris Miller comes out. They don't even show us the quarterback stuff because of the penalty. So Chris Miller is the quarterback. He's going to fire deep downfield. And there was a couple Eagles. I think that if the corner McMillan does not knock that ball away. It might have been picked off by Hopkins back there, so perhaps a break for the Falcons. Back to pass again is Miller, and he's going to fire deep again, and McMillan's there. This time the safety wasn't helping, but McMillan was able to get his hands on the ball for the second consecutive play. And now 3 wideouts to the left, another 4 receiver set for Miller. Drops back, in trouble now, and a couple different Eagles get there. It looks like Clyde Simmons and Seth Joyner were both in on the sack. So a disastrous start for the Falcons, giving up a touchdown on defense, and then an offense going 3 and out. Now the Falcons' strength is definitely their offense, number 5 offense in 1991, whereas they were 20th in defense. So this team did go 10-6, and they won a wild card game, lost in the divisional round. But it's definitely led by their run and shoot, or their version of the run and shoot offense. There's 3 run and shoots in this team. The 91 Oilers, which is the truest form of run and shoot. This 91 Falcons team, which we'll call the red gun offense, because they do more of the shotgun within the red run and shoot. And then you have the silver stretch in Detroit, another 1991 team. So 3 teams from 91 using the run and shoot. The silver stretch, of course, almost balanced. They ran and threw about 50-50. I think maybe it was like 49-51. The Falcons a little bit more like 45-55, and then the Oilers were all in, something like 37% run, 63% pass. But Cunningham misfires there. It's 3rd and 10. And he's got good protection, fires deep downfield, and that's time. It's knocked away. Scott Case was looking to deliver a hit and actually hit off of his back shoulder, but no pass interference or anything, so that's good. And the Falcons hold on that drive. Okay, so let's see if the Falcons can do more than 3 out. We talked about their red gun offense. Here he's under center, though, so 3 wideouts in the tight end. You'll see more of that here. The Oilers literally don't have a tight end on the roster, so you'll basically never see that over there. The other 2 run and shoot teams do have tight ends, and so the Falcons will do some 3 receiver, 1 tight end set, and they will also do some shotgun with 4 receivers like they're doing here. There's a handoff and a first down achieved by the running back, Steve Broussard. Okay, so a nice first down by the Falcons. Let's go through some of their starters for you. Chris Miller, the quarterback, talked about him. He avoids that sack by getting rid of it. Chris Miller is the Pro Bowl quarterback. Then the running back, kind of by committee, Broussard, you saw. Pegram, another name that get a lot of carries. Their wide receivers, Michael Haynes, Mike Pritchard, George Thomas, and the leader of the group, Pro Bowler Andre Rison. And then 2 more Pro Bowler, an All-Pro at left tackle and Mike Ken, and a Pro Bowler at right tackle and Chris Hinton. So good tackles, a good Pro Bowl quarterback and a Pro Bowl receiver. And then in the middle of the line, from left to right, you have Houston Hoover, Jamie Dukes, and Bill Fralick. So that is your offense, but on 4th and 8, they will have to punt to the Eagles. Fair catch called, and the Eagles will start at their own 19-yard line. So the Eagles offense, again, back in 1992, they were the 5th-ranked offense, led by quarterback Randall Cunningham, the running back Herschel Walker, the fullback is Heath Sherman. There's a play-action pass, but knocked away, looking for Beach, the second tight end. The wide receivers are Pro Bowler Fred Barnett, who had that big catch on the first drive, and then Calvin Williams is on the other side. Keith Byers is the tight end. There's a nice run by Herschel Walker. Again, he's up to 32 yards on 6 carries. And the offensive line, is near the bottom as far as this in this roster set from 84 to 96. The Eagles are definitely bottom 10 offensive line. Oh, look at that. Herschel Walker just ran over a would-be tackler. But that offensive line from left to right is Ron Heller, Mike Shadd, David Alexander in the middle, Eric Floyd, and Antone Davis. So again, a rather weak offensive line, but very good skill guys. A great quarterback in Randall Cunningham. Well, good to great. Definitely moments of greatness, but a very good quarterback, let's say. Herschel Walker, a very good running back. And Sherman's a fine tight fullback. For the time, obviously, compared to today's NFL, he would be, like a 98 at fullback because fullbacks are just not what they used to be. Cunningham on 3rd and 3 will fire into double coverage, and Scott Case knocks it away. And now the Eagles will have to punt, and let's see if the main reason people want to watch this team can get the ball. Of course, that's primetime Deion Sanders, but no, they kick it straight out of bounds. So Deion yet to get thrown at or punted to. Four wides again. And it doesn't matter because Evans gets to Miller before he can get rid of the ball. That's sack number 2 for the Eagles. Look at that. Total yards 104 to -4. It's all Philly here in the first quarter. Oh, my goodness. Reggie White picked up Steve Broussard and body slammed him to the ground. Okay. Well, Reggie White. I want to go over the Philadelphia defense after seeing that play by Reggie White, but on 3rd and 18, I don't think we're going to have time, so we'll wait till after this punt, unless Miller connects, which he does, to Michael Haynes. Big throw there. All right, so maybe we do have time to talk about the Eagles defense. The Eagles, again, they were 5th in offense, 6th in defense, but their only Pro Bowler on offense was Fred Barnett. On defense, they get more recognition. The great Reggie White, who you saw body slam the running back just a minute ago. He had 14 sacks in 1992. In the middle is Andy Harmon and Mike Golick. They go 4-3, by the way. And on the other end is Clyde Simmons, the All-Pro. So both defensive ends were in the Pro Bowl in 1992. Linebackers are Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, and William Thomas. And then corners, John Booty and Pro Bowler Eric Allen. And then the safeties are Rich Miano and Wes Hopkins. So Hopkins involved already. McMillan is the corner, nickelback, if you will, and he's been in on a couple plays already. There's a draw play to Broussard. He gets a few more of those yards back, and it's 3rd and 6. So the ends that we talked about in the Pro Bowl, Reggie White had 14 sacks. Clyde Simmons added 19. So a couple of ridiculously good pass rushers on this Eagle team. And there you see a linebacker, Seth Joyner, with a blitz adding to that rush, and the Falcons can't handle it. Now, the good thing about the Falcons in this matchup is that the best part, I guess, of the Eagles' defense is their ends. The best part of the Falcons' line is their tackles. So at least that's a good matchup to watch. All-Pro Mike Ken against All-Pro Clyde Simmons. And on the other hand, side Pro Bowler Chris Hinton versus Pro Bowler / Hall of Famer Reggie White. Herschel Walker has had a good start to this game. Oh, Cunningham had him offsides but didn't snap the ball. There is a throw a little bit low to Beach. It's the second time that Cunningham was unable to reach Pat Beach there. All right, 3rd and 4. Can the Falcons get a big stop here? Cutting back to pass. Throws underneath, and that time he connects with the backup tight end. And the Eagles get the first down. All right, so you guys want to see who your Falcon defense is. Falcons Falcons run the 3-4, unlike the Eagles who do the 4-3. Rick Bryan and Tim Green are the ends. Rookie Mo Gardner in the middle of the nose tackle. Linebackers Robert Lyles, John Raid, Jesse Tuggle, and Darian Connor. Jesse Tuggle, pretty good year, but not a Pro Bowler or anything. He will become a Pro Bowler in future years, but here in 1991, not yet. Tim McKyer, sometimes known as Showtime, on one corner. He had 6 interceptions in 1991, and on the other corner, of course, prime time. Deion Sanders, the most decorated cornerback, probably, as far as recognizable with his personality and everything else. Cunningham overshoots his receiver, and it's picked off there by Tim McKyer. So there you go. The best part of their defense is their corners. Oh, my gosh, but it's offside. So Cunningham, I didn't notice that, but Cunningham caught the Falcons offsides. That's why he threw that pass for his deepest receiver. It's picked off, but that is erased by the penalty. So instead of Falcons ball, it's 3rd and 11. The safeties, by the way, are Scott Case and Brian Jordan. Now, fun fact, most people know about Deion Sanders and the fact that he also played with the Atlanta Braves, two-sport athlete. People may not know that Brian Jordan, the safety, also played with the Atlanta Braves. Now, Deion Sanders is the better player in both sports. He was the better baseball player and the better football player, but still quite impressive that they had a couple dual sport athletes. If you look close, you might see MC Hammer on the sidelines. The Falcons definitely one of the funnest teams here in this retro era 3. But again, they only went 10-6. They did win a wild card. Certainly not the worst team because, there's some teams in here that didn't make the playoffs, like the 96 Bucks, 96 Ravens. So they're not a bad team. Speaking in their own division, you probably put them behind the 96 Panthers, who went 12-4 and made it to the NFC Championship game. You definitely put them ahead of the Bucks, though, who didn't even make the playoffs. They were under 500. And then they're right there. It's really them and the Saints. The 91 Falcons and 92 Saints should really be fighting it out for second place. You would assume, but of course this is Madden. Anything can happen. Miller back to pass on 3rd and 11. He's going to launch it deep and almost had it, but Andre Waters went up. Booty celebrating, but it was Andre Waters who went up and knocked it away. So Chris Miller taking a deep shot, but the Eagles are there on defense, and the Falcons will have to punt again. All right, so the first drive, there's Walker on the day, 9 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. He had a touchdown that first drive. But the first drive, Cunningham hit Barnett deep, and Walker finished it off in the end zone. Since then, these teams have been trading punts. And there is Byers underneath taking a shot and unable to hold on. So now 2 wideouts. Hold on. 3 wideouts and a tight end. For the Eagles, they go underneath. And Barnett does a headstand there for a second, but does have the first down. So this is the 3rd game broadcast so far. Hopefully, if you're following along, you're enjoying the season. This is the Monday night game. So the last game of week 2. I guess I can go ahead and talk about what's going on in the other divisions. I don't know if it'll show it or not. Madden 25 doesn't seem to do much of that, at least early in the year. As the year goes on, you might see more of that when they start talking about playoff record and such. But right now, they're not really going to show you things about what's going on in the other division or in their divisions or anywhere else, except for a little bit at halftime. But Cunningham had it. Barnett got past McKyer, and he's celebrating. He did nothing on the play, but he got past McKyer. There was no safety help, and Cunningham just missed it. That would have been a touchdown had he put the ball on the money. But here he's going to take off and run, and this is what Cunningham does better than probably anyone else in this Retro Era 3. Run out of the pocket, and a big gain for Randall Cunningham, the dual threat quarterback. Now, of course, the last era that I'll probably get to would be Retro Era 5, the 2008 through, well, I guess through 2024. And of course, there's a ton of dual threat quarterbacks in that one, but unlikely that we'll ever get there anytime soon, because, I mean, you just turn on your TV. We just had the 24 season, so not as exciting to put time into making the roster there. But there, Herschel Walker fumbles the ball, but he's able to recover it himself. But here we go from 46.5, 47 yards. Looks like Raviz is lining up, and he puts it through. A nice kick there. Sorry, Raviz. What am I? Roger Ruzek, the kicker for the Eagles. So there is, they finally, on the kickoff, this time it did go to Dion, and he was able to get past the 30. But out comes Chris Miller, now down by 10. Eagles definitely have the edge in all yardage and a 10-point lead in the game. Falcons need to get some points on this drive, I believe. Play action pass, and he will hit. Is that the tight end? LaBelle, yep, tight end. So the Falcons do have tight ends, and they proved it right there by using them. And now another play action pass from Miller, and he's going to fire a little bit deeper, and it's going to be picked off. Picked off by, is that Eric? No. Is that Eric Allen? No, that's John Booty. John Booty, the other side of the field, picks it off. And the Eagles doing some celebrations that they never did in 1992. Now Cunningham takes back over from the shotgun and throws underneath. That's complete and almost broke the tackle. Barnett gets close to the first down, but just a yard short. So this is in danger of becoming a blowout. The Falcons probably need to force a turnover here. There's motion used by the Eagles. And up to Herschel Walker. He gets the first down and more. Scott Case on the tackle. So the Eagles, their biggest downfall on this, we talked about the Falcons and how they're going to battle it out. Well, if things go according to, my head, if there's no upsets throughout the season, which we've already seen some, then I would have the Falcons battling out the Saints for second place in the division. The Eagles, on the other hand, 11-5 is definitely a good record, but the rest of their division is full of Super Bowl winners. So the 92 Cowboys, 91 Redskins, and 86 Giants are all just, 3 of the 6 champions in this roster. So the Eagles, unfortunately, have by far the hardest time to win their division. They would really have to shake things up to pull that off. But right now, it looks like they're going to beat 2-0 at the end of this game if the Falcons don't do something soon. And they're looking great. They looked great in week 1 as well, beating the Packers, and the Packers are a Super Bowl champion. So the Eagles' extraordinarily hard record schedule has not bothered them so far. If they beat the Giants, Redskins, and Cowboys like they did the Packers, they should be just fine. There, Cunningham's able to draw Gardner off sides again. Gardner, again, just a rookie, making a couple mistakes here, jumping off sides. And Cunningham, everybody kind of either rushed past or backed up for coverage, and nobody thought about Beach, who just kind of took one step forward and waited for Cunningham to throw him the ball. Off 5 formation. Cunningham fakes to Walker and fires downfield to Keith Byers, who gets a first down and steps out of bounds right at the 10, just short of the 10, so they can technically get a first down without getting a touchdown. Less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Eagles, Cunningham fires. It's knocked away. Looking for Beach. So they have used a lot of 2 tight end sets here, the Eagles have. And on those 2 tight end sets, Cunningham has really been looking for Beach a lot more than Byers, which is certainly throwing off the Panthers. The Panthers very confused because they're not even in this game, but the Falcons also being surprised by some of that Beach targeting. But here it is, 3rd and 7. Falcons really need to force a field goal attempt here. They cannot give up a touchdown on this play. Cunningham is going to scramble. He's going to run for it inside the 5. He's nice job by Donaldson. You saw the X factor of Randall Cunningham and his quarterback running ability light up right there, and Donaldson does a great job of hitting him in the middle of his body, so he can't just shake it off and go forward. He's got to go back and then help finish the tackle. And there you see him congratulating. So, wow, one of the few times that I love the Madden animation. It made total sense. He did not make the tackle, but they congratulate him knowing that he was the one that stopped the touchdown from happening. Well, a big part of it. I mean, obviously his teammate had to finish off the tackle, but great job by Donaldson there. Earlier he went off sides and negated a Tim McKyer interception, so he kind of makes up for it there. There's Deion Sanders not taking it. Literally the only reason that people want to watch this Falcon team. And it's twice now on kickoffs that I mean, I guess it makes sense to kick away from them if there's 2 returners back there, but it's just unfortunate. All right, handoff to Broussard. He cuts back, but Clyde Simmons will not let him go any further. Clyde Simmons also good against the run. He's reminding the Falcons of that right now. It's a 2-minute warning. Pretty quick first half, dominated by the Eagles, but it is just a 2-score game. If the Falcons can use their timeouts and get on the board here before the half, could still have a good game. There's a nice throw from Miller, a nice touch throw from Miller to Pritchard. And now they'll go no huddle. 4 wideouts, and here comes all kinds of pressure, and Miller, wow, just able to get the ball out of his hands. And that will save them from using a timeout. Now he'll go back into the red gun, maybe give himself a little bit more time on this heavy pass rush. They're only rushing 4. Oh. Miller thought he would go with the short, quick pass, but the Eagles were all over that as well. Falcons looking for just their second third down conversion of the game. Chris Miller, he's got no time at all. And Joyner able to take him down. All right, so back to Randall Cunningham from the shotgun. It looks like they might want more points. Cunningham is going to throw. The Byers tackled immediately, though. So that might change their mind. Let's see. They're not hurrying, so I think this is probably going to be a handoff. Nope, they are going to throw. And they are going to come up empty. So now they're probably definitely going to run and try to make the Falcons use a timeout here. The urgency was not there, but they are going to keep throwing. So Cunningham fires. And the diving attempt, I think it would have ended out of bounds anyways. They went after McKyer again. Barnett had that one big catch in the first drive. They had another one which would have been a touchdown, but Cunningham missed it. McKyer's defended a couple of them, picked one off, but it didn't count. And here's Dion, makes one man miss, breaks a tackle. Deion Sanders, definitely a dangerous man. So dangerous that Cunningham hasn't even thrown on this side of the field except for 5 yards or less. Passes. I don't know if that was supposed to be a screen pass or what, but somehow Chris Miller got hit by 4 or 5 Eagles at the same time. If that wasn't a screen pass, that's the worst offensive line action I've ever seen. I think it was a screen pass, and Miller just never got the ball out of his hands. Maybe if we saw the replay, we would see if somebody was holding the back or what, but what a disaster for the Falcons. They could have just knelt on it and been down by 13 at the half, but now the Eagles are already in field goal position, and they're looking to put it in the end zone. Cunningham throws it short. It's caught by Byers. Timeout Eagles, they have one left, 3rd and 7. Cunningham fires just a little bit low. They did go after prime time for once, and it came up empty. Williams and Dion talking a little bit afterwards. But here comes Roger Ruzek to try to get a free 3 points. And he does. So the Falcons turnover makes this game even worse. It's 16-0. And you would think Dion's got to do something, but he just kneels. So I guess in 91, had he done that, they would have the ball at the 20. But knowing that he's in Madden and can get the ball at the 30, he decides to go ahead and take the touchback. And now, because the run got more than a couple yards, the Falcons decide to call timeout. And let's see how far Miller can throw it. Oh, boy. The best part of the line, again, is the tackles. But the tackles, both of them, they're only going to call Ken, but both tackles really jumped on that one. Miller fires and completes to Rison. Andre Rison across the 50, and that sets him up for a possible Hail Mary. 5 seconds. I don't know if can they throw a really quick short pass. Miller, nope. Looks like this is going to go downfield, knocked down, but there actually is 1 second left. So now the only play is the Hail Mary, which apparently they're going to do from under center. So this is interesting. What? They don't even want to try the Hail Mary, maybe because of the pass rush that the Eagles have been throwing at them. They didn't want to get Miller hit again. I'm not sure exactly what Glanville was thinking, but I'm sure he does not appreciate being shut out. So there you can see some of the other scores. The Vikings highlighted there, the big upset. You see the Houston Oilers put 55 points on the board. So the Houston Oilers are off to a 2-0 start. They beat the 85 Bears in week 1, and they destroy the 85 Jets. So Oilers love playing the 85 teams. There's another game highlighted. The Buffalo Bills of 1990 dismantled the 1984 Miami Dolphins. Thought that would be an offensive shootout, but only one offense showed up as the Bills defense really corralled Marino in his passing game. The Bears get to bounce back from their loss by playing the only not real team, the Memphis Steamers, and they shut them out. So I guess fitting that the 85 Bears team would not allow a point against a team of, now they're not all scrubs. I mean, they have Sterling Sharp and Eric Dickerson are on that team, just other players from the era that didn't make it onto any of the teams. But the Steamers are clearly the worst rated team, so hopefully nobody will lose to them. Oh. That's something you probably wouldn't see Dion do on the return, is putting his helmet down and just trying to run through a guy. It was so bad on that. I think that first highlight was Chris Miller getting hit by 5 people, and so they purposely showed you a camera angle where the markers were blocking it, so you didn't have to see him almost die. The Falcons, the strength of their team is their run and shoot passing game, which has 28 yards right now. There is a handoff to Broussard. He gets a few yards. So I mentioned earlier that the Falcons kind of have running back by committee. So we'll talk about that for a little bit here. So in 1991, listen to how much of a committee this is. Eric Pegram led the Falcons with 101 attempts. Steve Broussard, who seems to be the featured back in today's game, had 99 rushing attempts, and Mike Rozier had 96. So 3 different guys had more than 95 attempts, but nobody had more than 101. So very close there. They also had Chaffee, who had 29 attempts, and Jones, who had 35. So definitely running back by committee. The most effective was Broussard, and that's who they're using today, as he was able to run the ball in the end zone 4 times, which is 2/3 of the total rushing touchdowns that the Falcons had on the year. And he also had a 4.5 average, which was better than the rest of the group, but certainly led by their passing game. As far as the Eagles running goes, not not really a committee at all, but 3 names to definitely know. Herschel Walker, who you've seen a lot, did go over 1,000 yards, 1,070 yards on the season. Heath Sherman, who has not really been featured yet, he's the fullback, but he did carry the ball 112 times for 583 yards and found the end zone 5 times. And then Randall Cunningham, 549 yards and 5 touchdowns. So between those 3, the running back, fullback, and quarterback, that's 18 rushing touchdowns and over 2,100 yards. So definitely a running a difference in running offenses. Eagles much better than the Falcons at running the ball. Now, was Cunningham only a runner? No, absolutely not. He did throw for 2,775 yards with 19 touchdowns versus 11 interceptions, which is a very fine season for sure. And there you see a nice throw to Barnett, who was his favorite receiver. Barnett, 67 catches in 1992, went over 1,000 yards, found the end zone 6 times. There's play action pass. Cunningham fakes it to Walker and then goes to Walker. And Walker definitely not afraid of catching the ball in the backfield. He did have 38 catches in 1992. Quick completion to Byers, and the weakest part of Dion's game is tackling, but he was able to make the tackle on Byers there. So the Eagles methodically driving now, pretty much ready to put the game away already. I mean, the Falcons do have a passing offense, so maybe if they could just figure out how to break down or block the Eagles pass rush so that Miller has a little bit of time, perhaps they can make a comeback, but right now it's not looking good. Another completion to Barnett. Well, again, this is the third game broadcast. This is only the end of week 2, so we still have 16 weeks of broadcasting still to go. So, especially if we do 2 games each week, that's 32 more games coming. So we should certainly be able to get all 31 teams, premiered at least once. But maybe I'll try to even get each team to be the home team once. And maybe not care as much of who the opponent is on the road, but try to make sure every team gets featured at home. We'll see what happens, but definitely every team will be on here at least once. And then, of course, if they make the playoff games will be broadcast. But there is the defense of the Falcons still trying hard. Again, the weak point of the team, I guess, ranked below average. These are all the best teams, so they should all be good teams. Both of these teams were playoff teams, but the Falcons, were able to make the playoffs without a very strong defense. 20th out of the 28 teams in the league in 91. And only 8 of them had worse defenses than the Falcons. But Chris Miller, he's had a rough day so far. But back in 1991, there's a handoff to Broussard again. Broussard definitely the feature back today. I was going to say back in 91. Now, Miller did miss 2 of the games, so Billy Joe Tolliver is going to have to start at least 2. Now, again, we're in Madden 25, so they're going to play 17 games. So I guess you would say dealer's choice for that 17th matchup. And by the 17th game, I don't mean necessarily the last week of the season. But we will definitely let Billy Joe Tolliver start 2 of the games in this season, maybe a third. But Miller will definitely get 14 starts. Tolliver will definitely get 2 starts. And then there will be 1 other start, which could be by either one of them. But anyways, Miller, in his 14 starts, went 9-5. Completed over 53% of his passes, went over 3,000 yards, 26 touchdown passes to 18 interceptions. And now on 3rd and 1, Miller's from the shotgun, but he's going to hand off to Broussard, and he's going to get some blocking and get a first down. We talked about carries. I'm not sure if we said yards, but Broussard, the only Falcon to go over 400 yards. He was at 449. So we talked about the Eagles having 3 different rushers. Cunningham, Walker, and Sherman all went over 500 for the year. The Falcons had 0 500-yard rushers. So big difference there. And Miller fires over to Haynes, who makes a bead right for the tacklers. So not sure why Haynes wanted to feel the contact there, but that's what he did. And down he went, did get across the 10. Does a nice catch and move here to get away from Waters. All right, so 1st and goal. Falcons definitely need to score. What happened there? Did he get Reggie White offsides, or was there movement? There was movement, of course. I think they're saying it was on the receiver, Andre Rison, so that's interesting. Okay, here we go. 4 wide receivers. The line holds up again, but they might have been holding. 2 different Eagles diving to knock that ball away. Holding. Let's see if they're going to accept it or decline it. They are going to accept it, so it makes it 1st and goal from the 24-yard line after 15 yards of penalty. 1st and goal. Miller gets rid of it before Reggie White can hit him, but has to throw it away. 2nd and goal from the 24. Red gun offense here. Miller shouting, perhaps an audible coming up here. Miller's going to fire near the end zone, and Andre Rison unable to come up with a McMillan again on the stop. McMillan's made probably more stops than the two starting corners. 3rd and goal now from the 24. And Miller fires, completes to Rison, picks up about half of it. Gets the 4th and goal, and the Falcons just want to get on the board before the third quarter ends. It's not just to stop the shutout, though. This will make it a 2-score game, technically. He puts it through, so it is 19-3 late in the third quarter. There's a decent return. And out comes Fred Arkansas Barnett. 6 catches, 112 yards. Did not find the end zone, but having a good day for sure. And Cunningham, of course, when they feature you coming, oh, what's that? A little bit of extracurriculars right there. They feature, they show Barnett, put him on the big screen and all this, and then he drops the ball. A little bit low for sure, but could catchable. Herschel Walker throws one guy off and makes 2 Falcons get charged with a missed tackle, but the third one did not miss. And that brings up 3rd and 8. So it's the end of the third quarter. The Eagles, a good running team, is going to start working on the clock. You would think if they could pick up this first down. So the Falcons really imperative that they stop them on this play, so that the Eagles are not able to turn this into a really short fourth quarter. Cunningham fires downfield, and good coverage by the Falcons. And the Eagles will have to punt. So the Falcons chopped it down to a 2-score game. Now they got to see if they can put it in the end zone. If they put it in the end zone on this drive, Dion, 35, makes a move. 40 breaks a tackle. 45, 50, 40. Deion Sanders. This is the reason why you watch the 91 Falcons. Deion Sanders returns the punt for a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. That is Deion Primetime Sanders, exactly when he needed to be primetime. And this game just went from teetering on blowout to what's going on here. It might be a 1-score game if Miller can come through. LaBelle in motion. Nope, he comes back to the fullback position. They're going to fake it, and they get it to LaBelle, who reaches across. Did he get it? Oh, he's just short. The Eagles were able to tackle him inches short, but primetime Deion Sanders has put a little bit of worry in this crowd. They're definitely cheering on that 2-point conversion stop, but we're down to a 10-point game now. With just a minute to go in the third quarter, it was a 19-point lead. Now a minute removed here in the fourth quarter, not even a minute, half a minute. And the last 9 points have been scored by the Falcons. So here we go. Herschel Walker breaking the tackle, and then breaking Scott Case's tackle, and then Deion holds on for dear life, but he gets help from his friends. The Falcons need to force the Eagles to punt as soon as possible, especially on this side of the field. If they get to the Falcons side of the field or even up to the 50, then the punter can definitely just punt it straight out of bounds and make sure Deion can't get his hands on it again. But if you can make them punt back here, then they might be willing to take another chance, thinking there's no way Deion could do it twice in the same game. But very satisfying on the week that the Falcons are featured, that we got to see Primetime return a punt for a touchdown. So that's pretty cool. It worked out for sure. They may be featured again. I don't know. I know each team's going to be featured once. I said I'll try to get each team to be featured as the home team once. Not sure if that'll work out or not. But if that is true, then we will see the Falcons one more time. But there's no limit either. So if it turns out, just the way it works out, the Falcons end up being featured 6 times, so be it. Very cool, though, that on their first feature, Primetime shows up and does exactly that. Okay, so the Falcons still getting dominated, 311 yards to 139. They're still getting dominated in most ways, but they have momentum now. And there's a handoff and a nice block, and Broussard able to get the first down. Falcons definitely seem rejuvenated, and let's see if the Eagles can do something on defense to turn it back. Of course, I'm always rooting for these games to come down to the last second, so I'm definitely rooting for a Falcons score here. Because if they could put the ball, even if they get just a field goal, if they can make it a one-score game, that keeps the excitement up. Mike Golick and others, Seth Joyner, throwing Broussard to the ground there. 3rd and 9. Can Miller come up with something here? The line holds up. Miller fires downfield, but it's knocked away. It's McMillan again. It seems like the Eagles, even though he's the third cornerback for the most part, it seems like they put him on the outside when they expect a deep pass, and he's defended at least 3 of them pretty well. So here's Herschel Walker, 27 carries, 114 yards today. I think he went over 100 in week 1 as well, so having a very good season for the Eagles here in Retro Era 3. Now, this is the only team that we've seen from the East so far. But you'll definitely see the 3 Super Bowl champions that come out of the NFC East. And there's a good chance you'll see those guys more than once since they, again, won the Super Bowl within this era. Randall Cunningham, he's done a lot of good work on first down, completing passes, getting it to manageable second downs. And there's Herschel Walker breaking multiple tackles. Herschel Walker having a big day on the ground. Cunningham not having a big day in the air, but he's just doing enough. They're having a big day on the ground. Pretty balanced offense. And all that has led to them winning 19-9. I think only 1 turnover in the game. That was by the Falcons, led to 3 points for the Eagles. So here we go, 3rd and 5. Now time is starting to become an issue as it's still a 2-score game, so Falcons really need to stop them here. Play action pass. Cunningham running around. He gets away from one guy, gets the first down. And that's what Randall Cunningham could do, especially late in the game when you desperately are trying to get the clock to stop. He uses his legs, picks up the first down, and the clock's all the way down to just over 6 minutes to go now. Hand off to Walker. And not much, but the clock continues to run. That's 30 carries now for Herschel Walker. Cunningham's taken off a few times, but we haven't even seen Sherman. A lot of times they're going with 3 wide receivers, so Sherman has not even been on the field that often, but when he has, he's been a lead blocker. So a very interesting game to just kind of cut Sherman out of it. Oh, a surprise blitz by Raid. Almost gets there. Forces Cunningham to throw it early. And now that brings up 4th and inches, and the Eagles are going to go for it. So this is a big play in this game. The Falcons desperately need to stop him on this play, but you have a dual-threat quarterback, and he delivers to Byers quickly before the Falcons can react, basically. First down, now they can get it dangerously close to 2 minutes, so the Falcons really need to start thinking about forcing a turnover here. Cunningham's going to run it right up the middle, gets away from a would-be tackler. That tackler, Ryan, actually runs him down from behind, which is nice. There's some anger issues right there. He didn't appreciate maybe Case holding on to the tackle a little bit too long. I don't know. Play action pass. Cunningham's going to he's going to run again. So Cunningham, they want to run the ball, but Cunningham wants to keep it in his own hands. And he's got it under 3 minutes now, so this is an impressive drive by the Eagles, just destroying the clock. And after Herschel Walker, he's inside the 15, inside the 10. He barrels over to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal, and they will have to call one more play before 2-minute warning, but what a drive. Just a game-breaking drive for the Falcons. We're on like 6 minutes already. And this Pretty much going to put the game away here. In fact, the Eagles let it run a little bit too far. That cost them 5 yards. Obviously, a touchdown, the extra point, puts this game completely out of reach. But even a field goal at this point, taking away the 2-minute warning and a couple timeouts would be... Oh, Herschel Walker just right up the middle. Wow, what was the Falcons defense doing? I don't know. But Herschel Walker right up the middle gets his second rushing touchdown of the day. And it's a 2-score game right now. Ruzek about to make it game over. There you go. So you see very little from the Falcons. 13-play, 86-yard drive. Took over 7 minutes off the clock. Just a perfect way to win the game. Wow. The Eagles. Now this Eagles team, again, they're in the hardest division. That's the only reason why I doubt that they'll do anything. But they're a very good team. Again, I said they were top 6 in both offense and defense in 92. Unlike the Falcons, who are, 5th in offense, which is great, but 20th in defense. Not getting it done today. Eagles good on both sides of the ball. And that's why they just are one of the superior teams in this league. So Chris Miller has got to put up some better numbers, though. I mean, this needs to be the strength of the Falcons. There we go. He finally hits Pritchard in the middle of the field. Miller just trying to add some stats here. I mean, there's really no way they can win the game. But if you get in the end zone, 26-16 certainly doesn't look as bad. Miller is launching it for the end zone. Well, maybe not the end zone, but he was going deep to George Thomas, but it was knocked away. Miller from the shotgun again. Good job by both tackles momentarily, but then Reggie White was able to spin away from Hinton and put all kinds of pressure on Miller. Falcons have only converted third down twice. Now, the Eagles have only converted 4 times. But still, twice is pretty pathetic. Miller gets rid of that ball, so that's twice, 2 plays in a row now. Miller just had to get the ball out of his hands before he got sacked. He's not going to be able to do that this time. He's got to force the ball to get over 10 yards to somebody. He does just that. He completes the pass. They're going to let some time run off and save their 2 timeouts. Miller, offensive line, does a good job this time, and he completes down inside the 20. Pritchard again. Pritchard coming up big on this drive. And the Falcons are inside the red zone, just over a minute to go. Miller wants to get at least 1 touchdown pass in this game. Fires near the corner, and it's knocked away. McMillan again. McMillan having a great game. All right, Miller from the shotgun. 1 minute to go. Looking, waiting, rolling to the right, throws underneath, and that'll be the Falcons' last time out. 3rd and 3 from the 12-yard line. Field goal doesn't do anything. 26-12 still looks like he got beat down, so I think they're going to go for it either way. Oh, that was almost picked off. Let's see, though. They might kick a field goal. Technically, it's a 3-score game, but no, okay, good. Yeah, 26-12 doesn't mean much. You got to get the touchdown here if you just think about making the score look better. And Miller will throw that ball out of bounds on 4th down. So it was interesting. I don't think he was throwing it away. I think he just misfired. It looked like he was throwing it away, but there wasn't a ton of pressure on him. So that might just be a ball that got away. Take a look at what the Eagles have done. Herschel Walker leaps over no one just for fun. Cunningham. It's Walker again right up the middle. So Walker's kind of had his way with the Falcons defense. 42 seconds to go, no timeouts. The Eagles, of course, could just kneel the ball, but maybe this play will take more than 2 seconds and it could be the last play. It does take more than 2 seconds. Let's see. It's close, though. It's so close that I don't think EA will be able to not snap the ball. They will snap it. They might not snap it. Oh, they snapped it 1 second ago. Hand off to Herschel Walker and Deion. Deion Sanders ends the game with a tackle on Herschel Walker. A couple big stars there, but sorry it wasn't very close. You know, sometimes teams just have another team's number. The Eagles really dominated this game from start to finish. Deion Sanders' big punt return, of course, the highlight of the Falcons. If you take that away, it was 26-3. So complete domination by the Eagles for sure. Look at Miller, just never comfortable back there. Never comfortable at all. Man, even in the video game, I cannot stand the Eagles fans. But that's besides the point. The Eagles are a good team. They won the game. There's Deion and the Falcons. Big highlight. We'll show you some stats real quick, but that's the end of week 2. Just take a look at some stats here real quick. You see the yards, almost 400 for the Eagles, just over 200 for the Falcons. Dominated on the ground, better in the air, more third down conversions, 2 for 2 in the red zone, 0 turnovers to 2. I mean, it's just every stat. Every stat. Cunningham, only 53%, just a 67.6 rating. But again, that's just his arm. Miller, he was still better than Miller. Miller, 36% because he had to throw the ball away so many times to avoid sacks. Herschel Walker was huge. Broussard, not bad for a run and shoot team to get 92 yards on the ground. Cunningham really opened it up 64 yards. And then Stacy got the carry rather than, so Sherman not even one carry. But between Walker and Cunningham, it's over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Byers, 9 catches. He was sort of quiet about that, but he did have 9 catches for 42 yards. Let's just take a look at defense here. So Green had a sack for the Falcons. Reggie White, Evans, Joyner, and Simmons all had sacks for the Eagles. And there's a half sack somehow, so the Eagles apparently had 4.5 sacks. But anyways, thank you for watching. Let's the biggest highlight. Deion Sanders, boom, 1 touchdown. Okay, anyways, thank you for watching. Not a very good game, but that was the 1992 Eagles taking out the 1991 Falcons. It's Retro Era 3 is what we're calling the series, but again, I guess I didn't need to make it so confusing. But the roster name is not Retro Era. It's actually Classics because the first roster set I did started with Classics. So the roster sets are under Classics. This one, of course, Classics 84 to 96. There's also a Classics for 1960 through 1974. But that one is... I kind of released that before it was completely finished, so I'm finishing that up on the side as far as the ratings go. And then that will be re-released within a couple weeks here. But anyways, thank you for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. Comment on, what team you want to see, especially if I have 4 people watching. I might as well get them to see their team. Rather than the 8 billion people that are not watching. So, anyways, thanks again. Have a good day and a good week. Bye.